tonight's Wales at 6. A girl who attempted to murder 2 teachers was fascinated with weapons and war. Tonight, questions over why she wasn't referred to a counter-terrorism programme. Also on the programme, paying for the basics. Energy bills are set to go up again this autumn.
I'm very, very careful, but there's only so much you can do, isn't there? You've just got to absorb these prices, but it's worrying.
Plus, the warehouse war chest. Wales' stockpile of vaccines ready to fight the battle against winter flu.
And I'm at the cricket event that's bringing the community together and trying to get more of us involved in the sport.
Hello, good evening. A school pupil who stabbed 2 teachers had unusual interests in war memorabilia and a fascination with weapons. That was the conclusion of a review into the stabbings at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman in Ammanford in spring last year. The girl, who cannot be named because of her age, was sentenced to 15 years in detention, with the report revealing a referral to the Prevent Anti-Terrorism programme was considered. Our correspondent Dean Thomas Welch is outside the school for us this evening. Dean, what else was published today?
Well, John, the review found multiple failings by agencies when sharing the girl's history and vulnerabilities. It also found that there were failings in providing the girl with health assessment and follow-up health referrals. In all, this review made 11 recommendations in an attempt to stop what happened behind these gates a year ago from ever happening again. How many opportunities were missed to prevent a horrific attack within the walls of an Ammanford school? A new report released today paints a grim picture, detailing multiple failures by agencies that may have contributed to a frenzied knife attack. In April last year, teachers Fiona Elias and Liz Hopkin were stabbed multiple times by a 14-year-old girl at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman in Ammanford. A fellow student was also stabbed during the terrifying attack, caught on CCTV. This year, the girl was sentenced to 15 years detention for attempting to kill her teachers and a pupil with her father's fishing knife. But the story doesn't end there. A comprehensive review has now been published, scrutinising the actions of the local authority, school, police and health board in the critical years and months leading up to the incident. It identified numerous opportunities to intervene with the girl and her family.
It's very difficult when you look back and you see all aspects of this young person's life and you understand the potential impact of that, to think how could it be that all the agencies didn't have the same information and weren't able to understand completely her levels of need, the family's needs and the risks that some of her needs might pose.
The review found the girl, referred to as Child A, had an unusual interest in war memorabilia, Hitler and a fascination with weapons. It also found the girl brought a BB gun into primary school and was discovered carrying a knife at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman in the months before the stabbings. An opportunity to refer the girl to a government anti-terrorism strategy called Prevent was considered before the knife attack, but it was deemed she did not reach the threshold for a referral.
The needs and the issues that this young woman was presenting with are far from unique. They are very increasingly prevalent across Wales. I think, it shows that low level, or what could be deemed low level needs, does nevertheless, if not responded to in a timely way, can unfortunately lead to these incidents.
In a joint statement, Carmarthenshire Council, Ysgol Dyffryn Aman, Dyfed-Powys Police and Hywel Dda University Health Board said, "We have received the independent report in respect of the multi-agency professional forum, and we will work with all partners to develop an action plan to address its recommendations." Tonight, questions remain as to what more could have been done to prevent this pupil from attempting to kill her teachers and a classmate. The victims, staff, pupils and parents of Ysgol Dyffryn Aman will want the lessons uncovered to ensure the horrors of that day are never repeated. Well, what this review has actually shown today, that there is in fact 2 stories to what happened at this school. This story A, which is the impact that the stabbing event had on the 2 teachers and the pupil who suffered at the hands of the pupil with the knife. But there's also another story, and we hear a little bit about this in this review. This is the history of the young girl who took the knife into the school. Now, she grew up in an incredibly chaotic household. Her mum and father split at an early age, and she grew up without a stable maternal figure. She also needed an ASD referral. Now, that is an assessment for autism. And now these are some of the things that this young girl simply didn't have. I went to both her court cases, and during both those cases, she sat in the dock on her own. Neither her mother or her father sat in the public gallery. This was a very lonely and confused young girl, and why it may have been a lack of information sharing that may have caused what happened at this school, it could also be as simple as love, care and attention for this young 14-year-old girl.
Dean Thomas Welch in Ammanford, thank you very much indeed. Firefighters in Llandudno have been tackling a mountain fire that's been burning since yesterday evening. People are being advised to keep their distance from the blaze on Cwm Mountain. North Wales Fire and Rescue Service said they're working hard to dampen hot spots and have multiple crews in attendance.
It was quite a large-scale fire for us to deal with, especially yesterday afternoon. I think we had around 9 fire appliances at its height, and the crews worked really well and worked really hard to keep the fire at bay, especially from the houses that it came very, very close to.
Energy bills are set to increase by £35 on average after regulator Ofgem allowed utility companies to hike their prices by 2%. The increase will kick in at the beginning of October, with a typical household bill now up to more than £1,700 per year. Our correspondent Carol Green's been gauging reaction in Rhyl and has sent us this report.
Wednesday afternoon, and Dilys enjoys a cuppa and a chat at the Cosy Club in Rhyl. Dilys has worked all her life, but she's worried about how she'll afford the latest energy price rises.
Well, last winter I bought a heated throw, and I just had the heating on for about an hour just to air the house, but I wore loads and loads of jumpers, hot drinks.
Paula runs the club and says in a community where many people live on a low fixed income, the 2% rise will be a struggle to pay. Fuel poverty is real here.
There's a lot of families out there who both work, who struggle themselves. It's not just elderly.
The increase announced by Ofgem kicks in October and will be reviewed after 3 months.
There are 2 elements of the cap that are going up this month, which are leading to the overall increase. So the first of those is a slight increase in policy costs, and that's related to the expansion of the government's warm home discount, which is coming in this winter. And the second one is an increase in the network cost. So this is a cost of bringing the energy onto the system and making sure it gets round to the country to where the demand is.
The increase is a real concern here, and it comes at a time when other bills are rising too. Food costs are going up at their fastest rate for 18 months, with basics like butter and egg prices soaring.
There are particular energy efficiency schemes that are available here in Wales. Our housing stock in Wales is some of the oldest and least energy efficient that we have in Europe. And there are organisations that are available across Wales that people can access this support.
Consumer experts say as energy costs rise, households should shop around for the best deal.
At Uswitch, we're always live tracking the deals that are available in the market. They change really, really regularly, especially around the time of a price cap. And today, when we've looked at it, there are 27 deals currently that are cheaper than the announced price cap. That's quite a good number. There's a mix of smaller suppliers, of larger suppliers. The highest savings are getting close to £300 actually for average consumption. But there are a lot of options in that kind of £200 range as well.
What's clear is for many, the cost of living crisis is as real as ever, as households face another winter of rising prices. Carol Green, ITV News, Rhyl.
Over 30 Poundland stores in Wales are set to remain open, at least for now, after a last-minute deal to save the troubled retailer. The budget chain was just days away from running out of money, but late yesterday the High Court approved a turnaround plan. With more on this, our reporter Megan Boot is outside its Cardiff store. Megan, what more do we know?
Yes, John, this is one of the Poundlands that's been saved by this deal. Basically, a High Court judge approved a reconstruction plan that gives up to £60 million injection that's going to help keep Poundland afloat. Now, this is a chain that has been part of our high streets for more than 30 years, 800 stores, up to 15,000 staff. So what went wrong? Well, one word: profitability. According to the barrister representing Poundland, it was doing well during the pandemic and before that, but in the last 2 years things have been a struggle. To try and improve that, they've increased their offering, things like frozen foods and online shopping, but that increased their overheads at a time when there's an increase in the national living wage and employer national insurance contributions. You can see the difficulties.
So what happens next then?
Well, John, we know 14 stores are due to close by Sunday. A further 16 are to go. We don't know when or where. Of course, communities across Wales have already lost their Poundland in Ammanford and here in another part in Cardiff. The managing director says he hopes this deal will stabilise and secure the future of hundreds of stores, of thousands of jobs, but he is mindful of colleagues, particularly those who will no longer be with the shop. But we know the high street, it's been difficult. Latest figures on footfall from the British Retail Consortium: of the 4 nations, 3 have fallen in the last month. The only one that's seen an increase is Wales, but that increase, comparing year on year, is 0.4%.
OK, difficult times. Megan Boot, thank you very much indeed. Still to come, anyone for a spot of cricket? Liam has the info.
Yes, that's right, John. I'm here at the community cricket event, trying to inspire more of us to take up the bat.
And will it be cricket weather for the rest of the week? I'll have all the details a bit later on.
Now, last winter saw the worst flu outbreak in Wales for several years, with thousands of patients admitted to hospitals right across the country. A lower flu vaccine uptake was said to be at fault for the rise in the number of cases. So this year, the NHS has tripled the number of places where you can get a jab in a bid to increase its uptake. Hannah Thomas has more.
It's an annual call to action from the NHS. They say getting a flu jab can often prevent the sickest of people from becoming seriously ill with the virus. And in a giant Welsh warehouse, they're already packing this autumn's vaccines. They're stored in big fridges.
So this is where all the action happens.
OK. Oh, it's busy in here. Everybody's at work. Wow. So this is where the vaccines come first of all?
Yeah, correct. So we take delivery in. We have 4 allocated deliveries over the whole season.
And this year you've got a particular focus on healthcare workers, because last year only 10% of healthcare workers took up the flu vaccine.
Exactly. And I think it's just a reflection of what healthcare workers saw when they were in their working role, of the number of patients they were having to treat with flu.
Post-COVID, when there was a lot of vaccine ambivalence, how do you restore faith in the general public that these vaccines are safe and should be used?
I think it's just having an understanding that the vaccine that is manufactured is based on the previous year's virus. So the strain by its nature will actually mutate. So the flu is not 100% guaranteed. However, it's based on obviously the most available research knowledge that there is.
And all of these boxes we can see around us now, they go out for delivery tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
It's the first time that the NHS in Wales has done flu vaccine delivery themselves. There'll be 1 million vaccines distributed from this site. The building can only store 250,000 in one go, but they'll be sent to 1,000 sites across Wales, including hospitals, GP surgeries and pharmacies.
So we can just see those vaccines coming on to this van here now, Gildas. This is the first time, though, that in Wales you've done this with the flu vaccine.
Yeah, so this is the first time in Wales, the NHS in Wales has done a procurement of flu vaccines to go out to all the receiving sites. In this project alone has already identified a £3 million cost saving. It also allows us to centrally procure the vaccine, hold them in one distribution location in Wales, and then use our staff to distribute them to the end user.
So previously it was supplier direct to customer. Now you're the middleman, coordinating all of this, keeping it in one central place and deciding who needs what and when.
Yes.
Well, it may still be summer, but the van's already off on a journey around Wales. And wherever you live, he's soon coming to a chemist near you.
Hiya, flu vaccine.
Thank you.
There you go, thank you very much.
Bye.
Hannah Thomas, ITV News.
Good to know. Now, a competition's underway tonight in Newport to celebrate cricket and community. The Celtic Tigers are hosting a festival, bringing together fans of the sport, but also promoting inclusivity and welcoming everyone to enjoy the activities. Well, our reporter Liam O'Conkey is there in the sunshine for us. The last few minutes, I believe the match is just finished.
Literally just finished, John, in the last 2 minutes or so, and we've got the players behind us here having a presentation, having trophies handed to them, and it's been a perfect day for it, really. The weather has been glorious here down in Newport, and the Celtic Tigers have certainly put on a show. We've had cricketers from all across the country down here, and I was catching up with them a little earlier on to see how the day's gone.
Sports is the universal language, they say, and this is how you bring people from all communities, all enjoying. So basically communities event, but whereas something to do for everyone.
This thing organized by our board member and a community. This is for actually for all of them, community, children, women, whoever came to enjoy the tournament and enjoy the festival. Welcome.
Give that to us, Appleby, please.
Well, to tell us more about today's event, he's one of the organisers, he's Faisal Rahman. Thank you very much for joining us. We're seeing the people getting presented with trophies here now. Perfect day for it. And tell us about the event. What inspired you to put it on?
The inspiration came behind from the love of cricket and the love of sport generally, and getting the community together. I'm a very family-orientated man, and this is what we wanted to do, is a family fun day for everyone to enjoy with the children and the loved ones.
Right, okay.
And you've had teams from across the country. Where have they come from, and how have they played?
We've had some great teams come from Portsmouth, Swansea, Cardiff and Birmingham. It's been absolutely fantastic to have everyone on board, and spectators from all over South East Wales as well. So
it's a great way of bringing people together, isn't it? And of course, we've had a summer of good weather, and cricket has really had a great showcasing, hasn't it?
We've been very blessed with some lovely, glorious weather, and the cricket and weather, I think, goes well together with some great street food and some great kids entertainment as well. And I think we did the combination well today.
You really have, and it's a great way to kind of show what sport is about in bringing people together, isn't it? Is that the reason why you put it on?
Absolutely, yeah. So this is a way to get everyone together, sport, food, and the love of everything else. So this has been absolutely fantastic.
And talk they could come back next year.
Absolutely, definitely, bigger and better, I think.
Brilliant. Well, that's fantastic to hear. Well, Faisal, thank you very much for joining us. So, a great event here, John, of bringing people together through the means of cricket.
And the weather makes all the difference. Liam, thanks very much indeed. A reminder of our top story. A school pupil who stabbed 2 teachers had an unusual interest in war memorabilia and a fascination with weapons. That's what a review into the stabbings at Ysgol Dyffryn Aman in Ammanford in spring last year concluded. The girl, who cannot be named because of her age, was sentenced to 15 years in detention. And still to come on the ITV Evening News.
Coming up on the programme, energy bills are to rise for millions this autumn. So what's behind the increase, and why could there be even more hikes on the way? Farmers joined firefighters on the North York moors to bring a wildfire under control. And Taylor Swift, soon to be father-in-law, spills the secrets of her engagement to Travis Kelce. And do join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Now, over the last few weeks, we featured some of our most famous food and drink. Tonight, It's the turn of Welsh lamb. Ian Lang has been on Anglesey, finding out how locally produced food is proving a hit in local restaurants and beyond.
Food, glorious food, properly done and presented, it is almost an art form. And what you see here has another dimension. It's all locally sourced. No ingredient has travelled very far. Something management and staff at the Catch-22 Brasserie at Valley near Holyhead are very proud of. Senior sous chef Adam Hughes says it's increasingly what customers want.
It must give you a great sense of pride to be able to put out food that's completely local produce.
Yes, absolutely. To be able to say that everything is sourced more or less within 20-mile radius is really, really satisfying.
In fact, take us through it. What is local here?
Yeah, of course. So over here we got some local Damara lamb, which we sourced from Anglesey Fine Foods, which is just down the road. We got some wild purple kale here, which comes from Cheshire Menai, which translates to basically Menai veg there on the island as well. Anglesey potatoes. The celiac comes from M. Hughes and Son, which is from Llandudno, and we've also got some black garlic puree here on the potatoes, which also come from M. Hughes.
Right, the proof of the pudding is in the eating, as they say. I've been looking forward to this.
The Brasserie has a top 100 listing in the Good Food Guide, and its owner, Neil Harley-Davis, says it makes good sense to use local producers.
For us, local food is not a trend, it's just something we've always done. I mean, you know, historically, Mon Mam Cymru, Anglesey was the breadbasket for Wales. It's, you know, we live on quite a unique island, it's quite a unique part of Wales, and we've got so much amazing local produce around us that it's just a no-brainer to use it. We're promoting the local producers, they promote us. You know, it all works full circle.
Peter Williams is part of that equation. He breeds a type of sheep that's popular in Africa and the Middle East, known as Damara lamb, and which is crossbred with Welsh native stock. With his business partners, he introduced it into the UK just a few years ago, and it's already proving very popular. He says there is a demand for local quality produce.
Well, people come down on holiday makers, they see the local produce in the restaurants, and then it'll encourage them to buy then in the shop locally and hopefully order stuff online, and it's just promoting more local stuff, isn't it? The quality we've got as a farm to fork now, and you know, traceability and all that in a way. It's people want to know where the food's coming from, I think, isn't it? And eating healthy food as well.
In a competitive world, it seems that local and homegrown is increasingly a recipe for success. Ian Lang, ITV News, Anglesey.
You can see why it's popular. And you can see the entire series on ITVX. Here's how to find us. To find us on ITVX, you can scan the QR code on your screen now, or head to itvx.com. In the menu, select Categories. Then click News. And then pick your area by tapping Wales. Here you can catch up with the latest Wales at 6, plus exclusive content and all your favourite programmes from ITV Cymru Wales. It's exactly the same process on your smartphone or tablet. And if you have a smart TV, you can find us exactly the same way on the ITVX app. Weather time now. Here's Amanda Houston with the forecast for the next few days.
Midday Mayan temples, followed by sunny afternoons on the sand. TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
Hello again. Hope you've all had a lovely day so far. Well, the weather's certainly been mixed across the country today. We've seen some sharp, heavy showers, but also some decent sunshine out there too. Now, looking ahead towards the next few days, well, the story remains an unsettled one. So there'll still be some showers around. So these could be heavy and thundery, accompanied by some fairly blustery winds. But once again, there will also be some sunshine in the mix too. Now, the reason for this setup, low pressure is dominating. It's allowing various weather weather systems to continue to work their way towards the UK, bringing some showers or longer spells of rain at times. And then you can see as we go towards the weekend, late Friday into Saturday, another deep area of low pressure working its way towards us. Looks like that's going to bring a spell of fairly wet and windy weather for a time, but then once that moves through, hopefully it will become drier and brighter for many. Now, in the meantime, for the rest of tonight, we've got a good amount of clear skies out there at the moment, but as the night continues, we're going to see more showers moving their way in from the west, and that's of our temperatures between 12 and 15 degrees. So that's how we start things on Thursday morning. Sunny spells and showers, and those showers becoming more widespread as we move through the late morning and into the afternoon. As I mentioned earlier, some of those could be heavy. There may be some thunder mixed in there too, and accompanied by some fairly gusty winds. So all of that will be taking the edge off the temperatures. Highs there up to around 18 or 19 degrees. And then looking further ahead, as I mentioned earlier, we could see the threat is some pretty heavy rain for a time on Saturday and gusty winds. Temperatures hovering around average for the time of year. Bye-bye.
TUI sponsors ITV Cymru Wales weather.
And that's all for now. Megan Boots will be back with the late update. That's after the ITV News at 10. But until then, from all of us on the programme, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.